If you read the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus preached to people 5 times. However, at the end of the sermon, he told a story about judgment, so that the people listening could follow the words and make decisions. The parable of the sheep and goats in Matthew 25 are the last words of Jesus' last sermon in the Gospel of Matthew. There were many sheep and goats in the area where Jesus lived. Shepherds had to let the sheep and goats out together to eat grass during the day, then separate them and put them in their respective pens before night. If you leave sheep and goats together all night, the goats will harass the sheep. Jesus spoke to the people. Just as shepherds separate the sheep from the goats, so in the last days of the world, God will separate all people. Those who will be saved will be gathered like sheep and sent to the right hand, and those who will be judged will be gathered like goats and sent to the left. And at that time, Jesus will say to the people on the right, on the side where the sheep are, "You are the ones who will be blessed, because when I was hungry, you gave me food. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. When I was a stranger, you welcomed me in. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was sick, you took care of me. When I was in prison, you came and visited me again and again." People on the right say, "No matter how much we think about it, we have never done that to Jesus." Jesus said, "Whatever you did to the least of those around you, you did to me." On the other hand, he says this to the people on the left side where the goats were. "You must go into eternal fire, because when I was hungry, you did not give me food. When I was thirsty, you did not give me anything to drink. When I was a stranger, you did not welcome me. And when I was sick or in prison, you did not take care of me or visit me." People will say, "No, if something like that happened to Jesus, we would definitely take care of him." Jesus says, "If you didn't do that to the least of those around you, you wouldn't care for me." Everyone. Jesus says that in order to receive eternal life, we must love God and love our neighbors. And he says that loving our neighbors should be directed not only to people we know well or people we respect, but also to the weak and weak neighbors around us. He tells us that loving them is loving Jesus and loving God. It is important to hear the words, but it is even more important to put them into practice. The Lord continues to talk about how important this is, from the first sermon to the last. I wish that all of us who love God will put the words of Jesus into practice by caring for and comforting our neighbors and the people in difficulty around us.